What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another Pay-Per-Viewpoint edition of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. We're going to be talking about NXT TAKEOVER WARGAMES, formerly NXT TAKEOVER Houston, but fuck you, Houston. Even though you're hosting the event, you don't get that little special logo anymore because WARGAMES is more important, and we're going to break down the 5 matches on the card and the one match that isn't really on the card but kind of is, and the other thing that kind of isn't on the card but sort of is. It's a really kind of confusing situation, but the people who are going to be breaking it down are, of course, myself as always, your host, Tony Mango, and we also have Callum Wiggins.
War is no game, Tony.
It is if you play with me. Actually, I never played the game Risk before.
I'm undefeated in Risk games. I have only played it 3 times, but
You should take another Risk and play it again.
yeah, just dominate everybody.
Well, that's the Risk.
I'll be like the conqueror Brock Lesnar. That's my ring name anyway. And that's
Also, talking about NXT, even though he's dangerously unqualified to do so because he hasn't watched anything since, I think, June, Drew White.
War is no game, Tony.
It is if you play with me. I think we did this before.
Hey, I love Risk. That's one of my favorite games.
I'm more of a Clue guy.
Boo.
No Clue.
That's rude.
And a little bit of Monopoly, but after like an hour and a half of Monopoly, you're just like, oh my god, will somebody land on fucking Ventnor? Like,
I've lost too many friendships over Monopoly, and then I was disowned by my family, so I decided to quit.
you need to have friends that are just enough of that level of total dick where you get really frustrated with each other at Monopoly, but by the end of it, you're like, you hate each other so much that you have a mutual respect of hatred for each other, and then you just sort of balance it all out, and at the end, it all just becomes, I hate you too, you bastard. All right, see you later. Strategy, though, go for all the green. That tends to work. Don't go for Boardwalk.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. It's a risk if you don't. And we're back to full circle. Anyway, so let's talk about War Games. We are going to be in Houston, and they have announced 2 things that are not really officially on the card, but they kind of have been advertising them as part of the card too. And they're both with Johnny Gargano. One of them is an ab contest between him and Shawn Michaels. Huh?
I wonder who's going to win that one.
Yeah, I'm really kind of confused about what this whole thing is about, because we know that Michaels has been a part of the NXT system for a little bit, and that he is doing this whole thing where he's going to be the special guest referee of Adam Cole versus Drew McIntyre, but that's in San Antonio, and it sort of makes sense a little bit that it's like, hey, like, you know, we got Michaels here at San Antonio, let's do something with him. This I don't get, like, at all. And even more so, I don't get that Gargano is also going to be fighting Pete Dunne for the United Kingdom Championship, which, first things first, he's not from the UK. So,
really?
That's
no
a little
idea.
strange.
Yeah, it seems pretty weird that the UK Championship, but then again, when they had the European Championship, they had people from America fighting for it almost immediately.
I was about to say UK Championship equals European Championship.
Much better looking title, though.
Oh yeah.
That European title is garbage. I hate that one so much.
We know, Tony. We all listen to the podcast.
Yeah, you only bring it up like 4 times, usually in a hot tag, so.
It's a hot tag every week. Just like, all right, well,
I still hate the European title.
There's like a rundown of like every week hot tags is Sonny gets arrested or in rehab or something like that. Paige and Del Rio do something that really is embarrassing to WWE and themselves. I hate the European title.
No. So you twine it in. So like with Jericho fighting in New Japan, you go, you had the former shitty looking European Championship belt champion Chris Jericho.
Former friend of Paige and Alberto Del Rio, probably backstage, but, you know, maybe not necessarily anymore.
You would say that he dabbles in New Japan now, right?
I think that it technically qualifies as dabbling,
Yeah.
but Yeah, so even though this is not something that we're going to see on the card, it is something that will probably be getting recorded and then put like the week afterward, because they usually like to do some kind of dark match stuff as like actually a taping. So, I mean, we're all going Pete Dunne's retaining the title here, right? Like, they can't have a non-UK champion as their third UK champion.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident Pete Dunne's going to retain the championship. And it carries on with Gargano's current losing streak that he's been on. So it feeds into both stories. So keep the title on Dunne.
Drew?
So I was gonna look how long it took for someone from the United States to win the European Championship, but I can't find it, so never mind.
That was
one, right?
Shawn Michaels. Yeah, Shawn Michaels' second champion.
He was the second champion.
Yeah.
So we have an issue with this. Someone from the United States winning the third champ time, but I mean, I think it's possible. We'll go with Gargano. I'm gonna go Gargano because I actually have seen him wrestle before, by the way. So I'm gonna go with him. Which is such a shitty way to look at it, but yeah.
So wait, if I'm remembering the European correctly, it was Bulldog, Michaels, Triple H, Owen?
Yeah, Owen Hart.
So when the hell did they have a second European champion?
I don't think it was until William Regal won it.
Wow, holy shit. Because I know like D'Lo won it and
Shane McMahon and X-Pac.
That is so crazy. What was that? That fucking championship is so stupid. I hate it so much. It's weird when you can take a cracked WWE title, put tape on it, call it the hardcore title, and it means so much more. Well, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the card that actually is like the card itself, and the match that I'm assuming almost nobody gives a shit about, which is Kassius Ohno against Lars Sullivan. This is just sort of thrown in at the last minute. There's no feud whatsoever for it. The whole build-up is just Ohno wants to be back into the title hunt, and in his mind, if he beats Lars Sullivan, then that gives him a reason to actually say, like, hey, look, I should probably get a title shot. William Regal agrees, and before you know it, Lars Sullivan versus Kassius Ohno is on the card. Not a fan, really.
I'm on the opposite. I'm really looking forward to this match.
Really?
Lars Sullivan has been doing well in NXT to the extent that he's being carried by people that will essentially just throw their bodies at him and let him hit them as hard as he possibly can. So he's had really good matches with Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch on NXT tapings. So he's definitely building himself up as like a new monster heel. And if there's anybody that you want to put like a rookie against in order to make him look good, then you can't really go too far wrong with Kassius Ohno, who's well regarded as like a major ring general and someone that can craft the perfect match for whatever opponent he's facing. I think this is going to be really hard hitting. I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard that aren't aware of who Lars Sullivan is. And I imagine that Lars Sullivan is going to go over.
I'm expecting a bathroom break. I've been not into Ohno at all since he's returned.
I think they've mishandled him completely because he should at least be doing more relevant things, because his feuds with people like Itami and stuff and SAnitY have just gone over everybody's heads. Just because he doesn't feel like a priority. But I think, given this opportunity, I think he'll show a lot of what's like really good about him, which is the hard strikes. There will essentially be two really tall, really big guys beating the fuck out of each other. So I'm gonna look forward to it.
I'll at least look forward to his theme. I like his entrance theme. Oh no, I like that kind of thing. Now, Drew, that you haven't been watching recently, so are you familiar with Lars Sullivan at all?
No, but can I just say, I thought Kassius Ohno was one name, and I didn't realize I was Chris Hero. And is it bad that I assumed that it was someone from Asia?
A little bit.
Okay.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
You could be actually looking at a picture of Hideo Itami and being like, "That's Kassius Ohno, right?"
Is it bad I got a picture today? Itami is that?
Well,
That's
WWE live event, I think it was recently, or maybe it was like one of the episodes of like Raw. They had a thing where the merchandise people for Asuka labeled it Shinsuke Nakamura mask, which was just like, damn it.
That is incredible. That is so bad.
It's like, they're not even the same gender. Come on. One guy's on SmackDown, the other one's a woman on Raw, and the guy doesn't wear a mask. Like, so you're just like, I don't know, that Nakamura chick. Like,
yeah, I'm doing my best to try to make it so I don't have to talk about the match. So I'm gonna go with Chris Hero winning.
I think that this is a Lars Sullivan win for sure. I think Ohno is just being fed to him, and that's all it's going to turn out to be. So I'm not really looking too forward to it. I think Lars Sullivan's got a couple of upsides to him, but I haven't seen enough to make me really get behind him all that much. So it's going to take a little bit of time.
I have a quick question before we move on. And is Chris Hero still fat?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the best Chris Hero. I'm definitely hoping he wins.
Now, I think it depends on where they are, because in some areas he's Chris Hero, and in some areas he's Chris Sub, and in other areas he's Chris Hoagie.
I'm deliberately not laughing at that one.
That's a good one.
Hulk Hoagies, man.
Did I tell the story about Hulk Hoagies on the air?
I don't know. That was
if I didn't, real quick, there was a girl in 6th grade. She ended up like pretty much going through the whole school system with me. Not gonna say a real name because that would be really, really mean. But she one day in 6th grade was eating a hoagie for lunch, and this one kid named Mike, I'll say his name at the very least, Mike Pierce, funny guy, he started looking at her and he was just like, "Yo, she's going to town on that hoagie, man." And I was just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of weird and whatever. And he's like, "She looks like she's like a wrestler or something. She's ripping that thing like Hulk Hogan rips his shirt." And like, we both just kind of at the same time looked at each other and we're both like, Hulk Hoagies. Like, that is going to be a nickname for her from now on. It didn't stick for like years or anything like that. She had other things that were weirder that she would do. So everybody was just like, "Oh, that weird chick," kind of a thing. But in the back of my mind, there was always at least this underlying thing of Hulk Hoagies. And anytime, like, any kind of lunch period, I would always be like, "Oh man, is she going to get a hoagie? Like, I want to see this again." Like, this kind of thing. Hulk Hoagies. There's your little story.
I was muted that whole time because I was laughing. It's always funny.
And real quick, too, on top of this, I have digitized that footage that I had mentioned a long, long time ago of a really young 4th grade Tony playing The Undertaker in a little school project thing. So maybe if you guys are lucky, maybe I'll put that up on the channel.
Oh, did little Tony get to play his favorite wrestler? Oh, that's so cute.
It's me and my friend Lou, and for a music project, we did a fake fight that started to turn into a real fight.
Again, I'm doing my best to make sure we don't actually talk about NXT. So,
well,
keep it up, guys.
We're doing a fantastic job right now.
That actually is part of the NXT card. It's me versus Lou, and I'm gonna win again.
What character was he again?
He was Bret Hart.
Oh, dude. Undertaker versus Bret Hart today. Like, they both had to come out of retirement and wrestle at NXT now. Just so we can see this match.
And I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
Well, let's move on back to NXT. And let's talk about something that is amazing, which is the Velveteen Dream. I love this whole character. I think it's fantastic. And he is fighting Aleister Black, somebody who a lot of people are really behind. And I'm kind of behind to a certain extent, but I'm hoping against hope that Velveteen Dream wins this match. The idea of Aleister Black losing his first match, and it's to the Velveteen Dream of all people, is just amazing to me.
I mean, I think you're probably hoping too much. against the actual expectations here, because there's no chance that the Velveteen Dream is beating Aleister Black.
He needs to.
But this, I will say that he is really like impressing me. I mean, I always thought that Patrick Clark was going to be something special as soon as I saw him on Tough Enough and saw that he's actually, wow, this guy actually seems like he's a fan of professional wrestling. It's weird to see him on a reality TV show about wrestling when just a load of fitness models and failed bodybuilders. But his character, which I thought initially was just, okay, so he's been given this character to kind of just make him humble straight away by giving him this really shitty character that no one's ever going to get behind. And he's made it work so fantastically well.
He's basically like another Goldust.
Yeah, he definitely has a lot of that ambiguity about him, which I think is actually more acceptable nowadays than it was for Goldust, because with Goldust he was a heel, but he was a heel because he was ambiguous.
Yeah, that was kind of like playing up the whole like, I don't like this guy, he seems kind of gay and I don't like that in my town, like that kind of thing. Now it's like people are gonna, you know, the whole gender issue thing is like such a big hot topic nowadays that it's sort of like, I'm surprised people don't cheer him as a babyface, you know.
I'm not sure what AJ Styles thinks about him, but we'll have to.
The Velveteen Dream community.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this match. I think this has been overall the best built feud of the entire card. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the actual match itself. I want to say that Velveteen Dream has one of the best elbow drops I've ever seen in wrestling. It's just the height that he gets with it is fantastic, but I just don't think he's going to hit it here. And I'm kind of hoping he doesn't, because if he does hit it, then Black's probably going to kick out.
Well, his finisher is that like rolling attitude adjustment, isn't it? Like the fireman's carry roll sort of thing.
That's usually the setup for it, but they had him win a match recently by using it. But that was because Kairi Sane was wrestling on the same show. And she obviously uses the elbow drop as well. So they've got two wrestlers that both have really good elbow drops, and they can't have both of them do it in the same night for some reason. Which I think is like, well, why don't you just have like a match between them so we can forget about one elbow drop and go for the other elbow drop?
Well, one of them can do an elbow drop with the right, and the other one can do it with the left.
Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly. One of them does a knee drop just to mix things up a little bit instead.
Plus, it was actually, you know what? Real quick sidebar. How the fuck do you pronounce the guy's name? Is it Cesar or Caesar or Caesar? And then
Cesar, I think it is.
Caesar? And then it's Benoni or Benani? Because I've heard every variation of this from the announcers themselves.
Well, I usually don't trust whatever Percy Watson says, but other than that, I just tend to go with what Marrow says because he usually researches properly.
Yeah, like the commentators and the announcers have said Benoni, Benani, Bononi,
Bologna,
macaroni, like it's all over the place here, and it boils down to just like, I was just like some dude. It's like another like Steve Cutler or whatever, like where you fade into nothingness and who cares kind of a thing. So he could lose to the setup move. Why not?
Yeah.
Now, Drew, you have to, before TakeOver, start checking out the Velveteen Dream.
I will. I've seen it. I've seen a thing or two, but man, Patrick Clark is a badass.
Did you see the thing with him almost kissing Aleister Black?
Yeah, it was a little spooky, but I mean, it's 2017.
I love that the crowd got all like, like
it's like one of the best. God, crowd reactions make moments, and God, that really made that moment. It would have been fucking weird if they were all like the gay community.
I'm surprised that there's not like a DeviantArt community that's dedicated to shipping those two now. Like just fan art of Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black kissing each other. You know?
Tony, you just haven't looked it up yet.
That is true. I haven't really researched this too much or anything.
Yeah, just spend like half an hour on Tumblr. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for.
Probably 10 minutes on Tumblr. I fucking hate Tumblr so much. Yeah, if you have any good Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black shocking up fan art, send it our way. Drop a comment below.
Yeah, we'll be sure to share it before the match gets underway.
Yeah, why not? Megamaniacs, post them there. Make everybody feel uncomfortable. So I'm going to bounce to a match that a lot of people think is going to be the main event, but I doubt that it is, which is the NXT Championship match.
Hey, can I tell you? I just want to say who I thought was gonna win really fast. Is that cool?
Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Velveteen Dream because Aleister Black. I don't like his tattoos. They scare me. No, they don't scare me, but they're fucking weird. So they look weird on him. He looks weird. So I'm gonna go with the Velveteen Dream.
I love the fact that you're saying he looks weird next to the Velveteen Dream.
And you know what? I still, after all this time, I still think of Mr. Black from The Simpsons when they had that little voiceover thing, and it's like Mr. Black. So it's always Aleister Black. every time he gets announced, it's always, he comes out, does his whole like rising from the grave type of thing, and it's got this music that's just like, I'm really pissed off, and it's just like, hey, it's Aleister Black. Like, undercuts the entire thing for me. Anyway, like I said, NXT Championship match. Drew McIntyre defending against Andrade, Cien, Almas. Ringside's going to be Zelina Vega. The highlight of the whole thing, because she is just awesome. Thea Trinidad, Rosita, whatever you want to call her. She is absolutely bringing Almas to the next level. And I never thought I thought that would be a good pairing as soon as they started off, but holy shit, she has just made him like a top heel. And it's awesome. And I kind of want him to win the title, but he's not going to. Drew McIntyre is going to retain.
Yep, I agree. Almas is slotting into that Tyler Breeze. I'll occasionally push myself into the main event picture, but pretty much just be the upper card heel for NXT role. I think the pairing with Zelina Vega has been like a match made in heaven. She adds a lot of credibility to him where he was otherwise lacking. He wasn't showing a lot of personality beforehand, and whatever personality he was showing just wasn't connecting with the audience. Now she's added a lot of focus and a lot of intensity to his character, which means that you can buy him legitimately as a world championship contender. That being said, it seems pretty clear that Drew McIntyre is someone they want to build NXT around for the foreseeable future, at least until someone like Adam Cole is ready to take on the title instead. So I definitely see this as just a blowaway feud, which kind of upsets me a little bit because Andrade Almas is probably only going to get this one opportunity at the NXT Championship, and he's definitely not going to main event the show.
Mm-hmm. There's two matches on this card that take far more priority over this one. That's why I said, like, even though it is the NXT Championship match, this pretty much can't go on last.
I can imagine it being the opener.
That's a possibility. Do that match, then do like the Velveteen Dream one, then do Lars Sullivan, because that's potentially the one that people will care the least about as the little bathroom break, and then do the other two. I could see that being the setup, unless they do something with the whole Johnny Gargano situation. Then maybe that would be like the bathroom break, but yeah, I'm assuming not.
I don't know why they'd put that actually on the show itself, especially if he just lost to Pete Dunne earlier in the night as well. And then just, I'm coming back out to show my abs next to Shawn Michaels.
Then they go, NXT, everybody, this is what we do on our downtime. This and work out in the Performance Center.
Yeah. Just like Johnny Gargano wins because he's got better abs, and then he just gets super kicked, and then hit the music.
Possibility.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Although you would think if they were going to do that they would have like a heel do it.
Yeah, you'd think so. But
that'll be what Andrade Almas does after losing, just to give himself something more to do.
And Patrick Clark comes out afterwards, and then they start a new feud with Johnny Gargano and Patrick Clark. Because Patrick Clark's got good abs as well.
Yeah, he does. He's got actually one of the better physiques out of the roster, which is kind of funny. Anyway, yeah. Drew, are you going to support your fellow Drew?
Fuck yeah. He's part of the Drew crew, my dude. But yeah, I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre.
Drew, can I ask a question? Can I ask a question quickly?
Yeah.
Do you know who Andrade Cien Almas is?
I forget what his name is on the indies, but I feel like I've seen something from it before, but I have no fucking clue what he's been up to on NXT.
Do you know that he's not Asian?
He's from Mexico, isn't he? I'm
I
pretty
think so.
okay.
I don't want to lump him all into that thing just because he's Hispanic.
I thought
So.
he wasn't he on Triple A? I'm just
He used to wear a
spitballing.
mask. He used to be called La Sombra, I think.
Okay, yeah.
I might be completely fucking that up, and loads of people are going to be pushing onto the comments now saying, "Oh, he's called someone else."
Actually Andrade.
He definitely used to wear a mask. I know that.
Yeah. And then they brought him on the NXT as like a douchebag who was a babyface, which was such a weird option because it was like immediately you look at the dude, he's got the hat and he's got the suspenders, and you're like, yeah, I don't fucking like this guy.
He was a male gigolo.
It was so strange. It was such a good idea for them to turn him heel. He should have been a heel from the start. Especially giving him Zelina Vega, like that's the missing edge that he didn't have before because he really wasn't a good promo guy. But she knocks it out of the park every single time. I'd be okay with him winning the championship here. I mean, like, it's not going to happen, but if it did happen, I'd endorse it.
I mean, there are definitely worse options than Almas to be NXT champion, but I just think they have big plans for Drew McIntyre. And I'm not just talking about NXT, I'm talking using NXT as the platform to make him a world championship contender in WWE as well.
At the very least, I could see him going over to SmackDown and being like an upper mid Carter.
Oh yeah, at the very least. But I think well, people don't remember that he's only in his like early to mid 30s. He's still got a lot of years.
Yeah,
left
he's like
to go.
he's like 32, and I also love it when Tony goes, you know what, this guy who's about to get called up to the main roster, I think he should go to SmackDown like every other person I think should be called up.
SmackDown's like the best chance you've got for the most part.
I know. Hey, I don't know. Sometimes you might be able to make it on Raw. I mean, come on, the Miz is the champion, so come on. I'm just saying,
There's a
3 hours
couple
over there.
people that could, like, Asuka going over to Raw was like, okay, that's happening. Like, guaranteed, that kind of a thing. I got a feeling, well, yeah, a little bit spoiler for later on. I think I got a feeling that Ember Moon, when she goes up, that she's not going to go over to Raw, but that might not happen for a little while. Somebody like an Aleister Black, he's going to go to 205 Live, I think.
Not a chance. They've had so much invested in him, and they haven't had him lose yet. There's no way he's going to 205 Live.
I think
He's
he's doing
actually
that
got-
so he could be the guy on 205 Live. I
they're
think
already
they like
bringing
this
in, like-
Enzo thing too much.
Yeah, but they're already bringing in, like, I mean, Hideo Itami's almost certainly going to 205 Live, and they're bringing in Rockstar Spud as well. So they don't really need an Aleister Black. I think they have too much. They have too much invested in Aleister Black as an actual legitimate person to essentially cast him off to 205 Live.
We'll
That's
see.
my opinion. That's my opinion.
I mean, I think he could just be like irrelevant because I think he has weird ass tattoos, but who knows?
He's part of the irrelevant brand.
Yeah. New season of NXT, irrelevant.
Oh, it'll be better than that Redemption one because that one was straight up garbage. But let's talk about the NXT Women's Championship. It's a fatal 4-way match. We are going to be getting a new champion by default because we don't have a champion right now after Asuka had to relinquish the title due to an injury and being called up to Monday Night Raw. But it's going to be either Kairi Sane, Ember Moon, Peyton Royce, or Nikki Cross. And I'm going to go with Peyton Royce here. The more I think about it, the more I think that that's the smart call. And it's the one that I think is the least likely option for a lot of people in their mind. Because Nikki Cross has been getting a little bit of a push. She's pretty much essentially turned babyface. And she's been doing this whole thing of like, she lost her original qualifier. And then she got the Battle Royal, and she kind of won that at the last minute with like Billie Kay getting in the way and everything like that. Kairi Sane, she's got the Mae Young Classic. She doesn't need a title right off the bat, too. And Ember Moon is like, I mean, if you're going to do that, you should have just had her win the title right after the whole Asuka thing anyway. So Peyton Royce comes out of nowhere in this sort of situation, and I think that she's going to end up getting the edge here, just with a little bit of help from Billie Kay on the outside.
Tony, you're right. That is the smart option, and that's the option that I would go with as well. Mainly just due to the reason that you should have a champion that is completely the opposite of Asuka after she's had to relinquish the championship. Because if you choose someone like Kairi Sane or Ember Moon, then comparisons are immediately going to be drawn between the two.
Especially, unfortunately, if you go with Kairi Sane, people are going to dub her Asuka Light.
Exactly. And if you go with Ember Moon, then people will just say, oh, she's only got the championship because Asuka's not there anymore.
Yep.
So it's not really building her up as like, oh, you were great, but like you're not the best. You couldn't beat the best when you had 2 opportunities to do so. So
you're not the
she
best
needs to,
around.
she needs to like build herself back up again and just like fight back to win the championship, or just go straight up to the main roster soon instead of not winning the title, which I think it's fine either way.
It's a possibility. Happened with Nia Jax, happened with Alexa Bliss, happened with Carmella, Becky Lynch.
Yeah, they've all done fairly well. I'd say that Peyton Royce winning would be probably the unpopular decision, but that's another reason why I say do it. Just because you want to have people like not like the champion initially, at least for a little while, because it's nice to have a heel after almost like a flurry of babyface champions for NXT. I mean, the last real heel champion for NXT was Sasha Banks. And
even then, she kind of had like a babyface thing at the end there towards Bayley.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've gone Bayley, who's the ultimate babyface, to Asuka, who's somebody they tried to turn heel and just couldn't because she's just like so popular. That you need someone that they can just legitimately despise, and Peyton Royce, especially due to her leaning on the interference of Billie Kay on the outside, I think just fits the bill perfectly. And I actually really like their double act. I think it really works. They've been building up a very strong reputation in NXT. They're very savvy on social media and building their iconic duo brand. It works, and I think that would be the best option to build up someone like Ember Moon or Kairi Sane to eventually win the championship one-on-one, as opposed to a fatal 4-way.
And that could happen as soon as Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, definitely. They could only have a really short run for Peyton Royce, but I just think a fatal 4-way's a match stipulation that allows for a lot of like fuckery and a lot of just cheating to win, rather than winning a straight one-on-one match, which I usually see more as a big babyface moment.
Yeah, technically speaking, a Fatal 4-Way is a no DQ match, so Billie Kay could come in and just make this a 2-on-1 type of situation for any of those people against Peyton Royce. And then it's like, oh, she only won because she had her friend helping her out, and it's like, then that can kind of tie into future feuds, because if you go with, I'm assuming Nikki Cross is the next feud right off the bat. Nikki Cross has a match with Billie Kay one week to set up like the whole idea of like she beat her friend, that's why she's able to potentially win the title, but then she comes up short against Peyton Royce, that kind of a thing. It's so easy. I don't know why they wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I think have Peyton Royce win it, carry the title for a couple of months. Probably the latest I'd say is up to New Orleans, and then drop it there. But yeah, I think this match will be pretty good as well. I think there's a lot of people that can work well together, and I'm interested to see how Kairi Sane does against Ember Moon, because I think that could be a really good clash.
Drew, did you follow the Mae Young Classic at all?
Not a chance.
All right, so Kairi Sane's a completely unknown entity to you.
No.
I would say check it out, but I don't think you really need to.
I mean,
just in case you, I was just gonna say, just in case you're wondering, this Kairi Sane is Asian.
Nah. I was actually wanting to check out at least the finals. Is that worth it?
If I remember correctly, the finals match wasn't the best match.
What was the best match?
Oh, you're
You know what? I'm
I
trying to
mean,
think.
it depends on taste. Like personally, for me, it was Piper Niven versus Tony Storm, which was the a quarterfinal match.
I kind of remember that one being good too. Yeah, I think that was the thing that made me turn around and think that Piper Niven should be signed. I don't
And
know.
she still should be.
There's a couple people. Mercedes Martinez was really good, but
Yeah, there was a
if
lot
you
of
want to
matches.
watch if you want to watch something with Martinez, she's on tonight against Ember Moon, so that's like easier. You know? But who you got here? You got Sane, Moon, Royce, Cross.
I was gonna go with Royce, and I was gonna joke and say all the exact same reasons that you and Kaylin said, but I don't know.
Kaylin's
I think
here?
Peyton Royce deserved.
Yeah, but no, Kaylin was there.
No, my bad, Brian.
Good old Brian.
Good old Brian. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, I think this is the second time on air I've done that now, and the last time he got really annoyed at this as well.
It's not my fucking name.
I'm sorry, Caleb. I'm really bad at this game sometimes. You should see. I have a friend named Max and Chet. I get their names mixed up all the time as well. If that makes you feel any better.
Max and Chet, you get mixed up?
It's weird. They're not even with each other. They don't even have to be with each other. I'll call Chet Max all the time. And then if they're right next to each other, I will flip-flop their names. And it's weird because they don't look alike. And my friend Chet's also part Asian, so
you get a real big issue with that lately, don't you?
I'm wondering how much these people are actually friends, Drew, if you just don't know their names.
Well, it's a good thing that Chet and Max are not just like sitting at a table eating Chex Mix, and you're just gonna get all mixed up. Chex, Chet, Mix, Max, like that. Seriously.
Come on, guys.
Oh, I missed you, Drew.
You
Gotta give you metaphorical nuggies.
Caleb with the good old yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to go first on the next thing, just because it'll be funny. The War Games match. We got SAnitY, the Authors of Pain, and Roderick Strong, and the Undisputed Era. I'm not gonna give you any setup. What do you think's happening?
I think absolutely. You know, I was gonna pitch that Nikki Cross was gonna win the NXT Women's title because she's with SAnitY as well, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So, and I was gonna say SAnitY was gonna win this match just to have that trend. I wanted to ask the question: do you think there's any chance of something like that happening? Like, oh yeah, look how fucking tough we are, fucking winners.
No.
Okay, so Nikki Cross has no chance of winning that NXT. I'm just asking. So
I don't
You
think
have
she really
answers.
does.
I mean, she technically has a 1 in 4 chance of winning.
well,
That's
have they?
commentary will say over
have
and
they-
over again.
Yeah, I was about to ask if they've said that over and over again. So what do you think the line would be for how many times they mentioned that during the pay-per-view?
Well, if it's anything like that fucking thing with Survivor Series, it's gonna be just every second. Because I am so sick and tired of hearing Survivor Series is the one time a year where Raw and SmackDown go head to head in competition. Over and over again. So if they start doing that kind of mentality, or the whole structure thing that they pointed out with JBL, it's just going to be, well, you got a 1 in 4 chance. You know, yeah, well, this person's got a 1 in 4 chance. This person's got a 1 in 4 chance. This person has a 1 in 4 chance. And this person also 1 in 4. Although it'll be that whole Nigel McGuinness type of like, well, this person's got a 1 in 4 chance. Because everything has to be that same tone.
I think they'll mix it up a little bit and say one of them has a 25% chance.
Maybe. That's where you get Scott Steiner to come in. He'd make it interesting at least. He'll throw some random percentages out there and, you know.
That's one of my favorite promos still.
I fucking love it. 33% chance. Samoa Joe knows he can't beat me. That was Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me.
And if you add that,
66
oh my god,
she starts chance at beat
Give my
me.
exact opinion about it.
I can't think about this because I'll just laugh for the rest of this podcast. So we need to move on.
So you're going
I know-
SAnitY for the War Games match.
I have no idea. Fucking, I have no clue.
At least he's honest.
I will say, I have seen a part of a War Games match, and it was I want to say 92, 93, somewhere in that time. Ric Flair was in it, I believe. So I don't know if that narrows it down, but I feel like he probably was in everyone.
Not off the top of my head. I was never a WCW guy.
Okay.
He wasn't in every one of them, but he was in a lot of the early ones.
So who knows then? So I'm interested in this match. I get why. I'm glad that they brought the War Games gimmick back. Not surprised they used it for NXT as well, but I wish they would have brought it up to the main roster first. And I'm curious whenever they will bring it up to the main roster if they plan on using it in the future. So I don't know. I kind of like the Authors of Pain, so I'm gonna go with them. Mainly because I think Bobby Fish is a stupid fucking name, and I really don't like Eric Young still.
I really hate the name Bobby Fish too. It really just seems so like it should be like a SpongeBob character or something.
Yes.
Bobby Fish. I don't know these guys. Like when some of these names come up on NXT and people make a big deal about them, I've heard about the guys before because it's like, of course, I'm going to get a little spillover. When people talk about Ricochet coming in, it's like, yeah, I don't know too much about Ricochet, but I've heard his name before. I know what he looks like, that kind of a thing. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly come in and people are like, that's Bobby Fish. And I'm like, sure. Whoever that guy is. Just sort of, and oh my God, that's Kyle O'Reilly. Then Adam Cole comes in and I'm like, oh, I've heard fucking Adam Cole. Okay, now I give a shit about the Undisputed Era a little bit. And then they name him the Undisputed Era, and I'm like, damn it, I hate that name. Good theme, though. It's another good kind of background song to play. They're actually my pick. They're the ones that I think are going to win this match. Although, there is a slight chance that AOP and Roderick Strong win, but I don't think SAnitY has too much of a chance. I think the fact that they're the champions and that the titles aren't on the line means that they're definitely losing. So I'm going Undisputed Era here. I think that that's the platform to get them to challenge for the titles. And whether it's, an episode of NXT or if it's on TakeOver Philadelphia or whatever they rename that, if they want to give it a different name or something like that. TakeOver Riot, probably because it's Philly. But I'm going Undisputed Era. What are you doing with this one, Callum?
Well, I'm with the War Game stipulation. I do like the idea of bringing it back. It definitely does make the match feel really big and makes the event itself feel a lot bigger. I'm personally not a huge fan of the match because the first War Games match I ever saw was, I think it was the 98 War Games, which was the one with Ultimate Warrior in it.
Weren't there some real... I was about to ask, weren't there some real fucking duds for War Games?
It's a very hit and miss stipulation. I mean, if you want a more, I guess, modern example, essentially TNA's Lethal Lockdown is based around the War Games idea, and that these matches are so hit and miss depending on the timing of people coming into the match, because I assume they're going to do the gimmick of two people start the match and then another member from another team joins and goes like that. So
there have been 32 War Games matches?
That sounds like a lot.
They did it all the time in the 80s and early 90s.
Holy shit, you're not kidding. I'm looking at the list now. July 4th, 1987. July 31st, 1987. August 16th, 1987. November 25th, 1987. They had 4 over the span of 5 months.
Jesus. Hey, listen, in 20 years, we'll look back and be like, man, we're at the 30th fucking Elimination Chamber.
Actually, we might be starting to get up there a little bit.
Yeah. But I still think the match itself will be good. I don't think it's going to be as great as everyone expects it to be, just because it's a lot based around timing, and some of the people in this match are quite inexperienced. I'm talking mainly about the Authors of Pain and maybe Alexander Wolf as well. There's just some people that have obviously never been in this match type before and will have to do a lot of maneuvering to start getting the recommended amount of heat into this match. I agree with you that I think the Undisputed Era will win this match just due to the fact that there's no stakes attached to it, which is one of the actual big issue that I have with it is the fact that there isn't anything on the line. I would have thought you could put the tag team championships on the line, and my idea was you put the tag team championships on the line, and then you also put the next NXT championship opportunity on the line as well for
Strong.
it'd be either Strong or Eric Young or Adam Cole, whoever team wins, the next person that gets the opportunity.
That would have been a good idea, yeah.
And then the other two would win the tag team championships as well. Just because, I don't understand. I've been watching NXT week to week, and I don't understand why Roderick Strong and the Authors of Pain are a team, other than the fact that the Authors of Pain want the tag team championships back, and Roderick Strong doesn't have a match.
That's mostly that, and it's just Strong has an issue with the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
Authors of Pain have an issue with both, and it's like, hey, the common enemy is my enemy friend, kind of like whole situation like that. But Strong doesn't have an issue with SAnitY.
No. So it's just a bit of. It's a really exciting prospect to put all three of these factions together, and I think it's a good platform to give the Undisputed Era the credibility they need, because it seems pretty obvious that Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly will probably be the next NXT Tag Team Champions. There doesn't seem to be anyone else being built up for that, other than the Heavy Machinery are good, and the Street Profits are building up a bit of momentum as well. But it's it seems right that they will end up holding all the gold, because Adam Cole is wildly popular. Definitely was brought into NXT to be a champion, and it makes sense to give Kylo Fish. It's funny.
That sounds even worse somehow. Kylo Fish.
Kylo Fish and Bobby Riley.
It's like a worse version of Kylo Ren.
Yeah, definitely a worse version of him. I didn't know that was possible, really, because to be honest, Kylo Ren looks like a fish as well. So that's actually.
Well, if Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish start cutting promos with that same voice modulator thing, maybe I'll be into it a little bit more. If they start cutting promos at all, they never talk. Adam Cole does.
Oh yeah, they're not really that great on the microphone. Just as my brief, sightings of them in Ring of Honor and stuff like that, they didn't really come across as very charismatic. Also, I don't know what's going on with Bobby Fish's moustache. He's had that for as long as I've seen it, and I don't know, he doesn't come across as an old-timey wrestler, and yet he's got this handlebar moustache. It just
kind of looks like he should be tagging up with Simon Gotch.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Simon Grimm, as he's going now.
Also, Kyle O'Reilly reminds me of a smaller Marcus Louis.
I can see that.
It's going way back in NXT's past.
After he went bald.
Yeah, just this really he's kind of got an angry face. Just someone who just looks like they're pissed off all the time.
He's got resting bitch face.
Yeah, I'll definitely add him to the sexiest superstar tournament where you can get eliminated immediately.
Well, he needs to buy that T-shirt. I've got wrestling bitch face that I put up on Smark Out Moment before it gets taken down.
But yeah, I'll go the Undisputed Era.
2 for Undisputed and 1 for God knows, I have no idea, and I'm not going to watch NXT.
Yeah, pretty much. I said Authors of Pain and Strong, but sure, we'll go with that as well.
That's pretty much the same thing.
All right, well, you will find out what happens on Saturday night with NXT TakeOver War Games. Of course, live coverage on SmarkOutMoment.com. Afterward is going to be the post-show and all the other recap kind of stuff that goes along with that. And next thing that you're going to see on this channel is obviously something we're going to be recording pretty much in the next few minutes and stuff, which is going to be our Survivor Series predictions. So stay tuned for that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, quick plugs, just in case this is the only thing that you're watching. Obviously, for my channel, subscribe, hit that bell, ring that for notifications, and check that off. And follow Smark Out Moment all over the place on Smark Out Moment on Twitter and Facebook and the website and blah, 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 blah. Fanboys Anonymous too, do all that with that kind of stuff. And follow these two gentlemen over at their Twitter accounts. Drew?
Oh, that's at Intrusive Way. Oh, and by the way, just very quick, I actually got to run and do some stuff, so I'm actually not going to be able to join you for the Survivor Series stuff. But I wanted to get a few things off my chest really fast about that. Is that cool?
Go for it, real quick.
Okay. All right. So, can we just say it's really fucking dumb that Jinder Mahal is not the champion right now? Because he's like the greatest heel and like face of all time.
Yeah, we're not going to be agreeing on that.
I know, but nah, that's kind of it. I mean, I'm fucking with you. Can I just say that Charlotte? I just found out like a little bit ago that Charlotte won a title last night. That's dumb. That's super fucking dumb. I'm actually more excited to see Styles and Lesnar, but I really wanted to see Mahal and Lesnar just for that comedic value, because that would have been incredible to watch. That would have been a way more memorable match. There's nothing anyone can say that could change my mind on that as well. And yeah, Kurt Angle's gonna like pin everyone and win. So that's about it.
All right, so Joseph White, and for Callum,
That's at Wigmeister14. Unlike Drew, I will be joining for this Survivor Series 1, so I may go into more detail with my plugs later on. You gotta watch that video to get the full thing.
That's what we call a tease.
I just want to say it's very funny that I did the podcast today that I know nothing about. So for those of you out there who missed me, I'm sorry. That was incredible for all of us.
Well, I'm sure you've put yourself well into the running for co-host of the year with that performance.
I always do. Always do. I mean, if anyone wanted to hear us talk about like the European champion, then yeah.
And Hulk Hoagies and
I got a story out of for my appearance, so you're welcome, people. It's like an all talk show now.
Alrighty, well that is going to do us in for the NXT TakeOver War Games talk. Make sure you leave your comments below and tell us what you think is going to be happening and any other thing else that you want to mention, whether it's those off-topic stories or something else. And click on that Survivor Series talk and we will see you for that one. But for now, this has been another Smark Out moment and we're being counted out.